Hey there, everyone! Welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, I'm so glad to have you with us today. We're diving into a topic that affects many of us, especially as we think about our future, pension plans. Now, I know what you're thinking, pension plans can sound a bit dull and complicated. But trust me, understanding them is super important. So, what exactly is a pension plan? And how does it differ from other retirement plans? Let's break it down together. Before we get into the nitty-gritty, let me ask you a question. Have you ever thought about how you'll support yourself when you retire? It's a big question, and that's where pension plans come into play. So, let's explore what they are and how they differ from other retirement savings options. A pension plan is essentially a type of retirement plan where an employer makes contributions to a pool of funds set aside for an employee's future benefit. Once the employee retires, they receive regular payments from this fund, typically based on their salary and years of service. Sounds pretty straightforward, right? But here's where it gets interesting. There are two main types of pension plans: defined benefit plans and defined contribution plans. Let's break these down a bit further. These are the traditional pension plans most people think of. With a defined benefit plan, your employer promises to pay you a specific amount upon retirement. This amount is usually calculated based on factors like your salary and how long you've worked for the company. For example, let's say you have a defined benefit plan that promises you £1,000 a month in retirement after 30 years of service. You can count on that amount for the rest of your life. Now, on the other side, we have defined contribution plans. These are more common nowadays and include options like 401s. With a defined contribution plan, both you and your employer can contribute money to your retirement savings account. However, the amount you receive in retirement depends on how much you've contributed and how well your investments perform. For instance, if you and your employer contribute a total of £500 a month to your 401 and your investments grow over time, that amount could turn into a substantial sum by the time you retire. But there's a catch: there's no guaranteed amount you'll receive when you retire. So, what's the key difference? In a defined benefit plan, the risk is primarily on the employer, who has to ensure there's enough money to pay out the promised benefits. In contrast, with a defined contribution plan, the risk shifts to you, the employee. If your investments do well, great! But if they don't, your retirement income could be affected. Now, let's take a closer look at some data. According to a 2021 survey by the Employee Benefit Research Institute, about 84% of private sector workers had access to a defined contribution plan, while only 17% had access to a defined benefit plan. This shows a significant shift in how companies are approaching retirement benefits. Now, you might be wondering, which plan is better for you? Well, that really depends on your situation. If you have a defined benefit plan, you can enjoy the security of guaranteed income in retirement. However, if you're in a defined contribution plan, you have more control over your investments, which can be a good thing if you're willing to take on that responsibility. To wrap things up, here's what we've learned today. A pension plan is a retirement savings plan that can come in two flavors: defined benefit plans, which guarantee a specific payout, and defined contribution plans, which depend on contributions and investment performance. Each has its own set of benefits and risks, and understanding these can help you make better decisions for your future. So, what's your take on pension plans? Do you feel more prepared to tackle your retirement planning now? If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and share your thoughts in the comments below. And remember, planning for retirement is a journey. The earlier you start, the better off you'll be. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep learning and planning for that bright future ahead.